Good morning. I'm Mark Chase and I use he, him pronouns. This was the first General Assembly that I have attended in person. Back in the 1990s, I attended the University of Pittsburgh for a year, so it was a lovely opportunity to return to Pittsburgh these many years later to see the Steel City and how it has changed and evolved. The city itself is quite beautiful, and the downtown business district is located at the convergence of the Monongahela and Allegheny rivers. These rivers combine to form the Ohio River, which then flows into the Mississippi and eventually the Gulf of Mexico. Beautiful bridges of different sizes, shapes, and colors span the rivers and hillsides of the region. Dr. Mark David Watanabe repeatedly reminded me of a fun fact throughout the trip, that there are 446 bridges in the city of Pittsburgh. 3 more than in Venice, Italy. I found this metaphor of convergence apropos as I thought about General Assembly as being the place where Unitarian Universalists converge to learn, worship, connect with other attendees, and to make policy for the UUA through the democratic process. Is it a conference? Yes. Is it a religious experience? Also yes. There are thousands of UUs that attend General Assembly both in person and virtually. There are workshops, general sessions, meetings, and opportunities to interact with other UUs from around the world on lunch and dinner breaks. As you walk around the convention center, as Marjorie just said, you see these banners from all these UU churches hanging, and it's amazing to see the geographic diversity of our attendees. What particularly impressed me about GA were the multiple ways that the organizers did their best to accommodate attendees. Speakers introduced themselves with their pronouns as well as a physical description of what they were wearing for and how they appeared for virtually impaired attendees. Scooters and hearing devices were made available for those who needed them. Attendees wore masks. And there was a dedicated protest zone at the event for those who wished to protest. For a first-time attendee, the event was very well organized and executed. The general session meetings are very much the democratic process at work. Several thousand people both in the building and online watched and made arguments for and against different proposed amendments to our bylaws. Each evening, voting delegates cast their votes and the results were reported the next day. The major discussion at GA this year revolved around the proposed changes to Article 2 and moving the framework from the seven principles of our system to a system of shared values. Love will be at the center of our faith, joined by the 6 core values of justice, interdependence, equity, generosity, pluralism, and transformation. Each value includes a covenant statement that defines each of our values. As we all know, change is not easy, and it makes people uncomfortable. The last revision to Article 2 was in 1985, and the Article 2 Study Commission proposed these changes to guide us towards the future of Unitarian Universalism and to encourage us to be a more welcoming and inclusive faith tradition. Many of the speakers who spoke against these changes were in strong opposition. Some of their arguments echoed what we see in mainstream culture, people who are uncomfortable addressing issues like white supremacy culture, or who lack empathy and understanding for the trauma that some people and groups have endured. One such speaker was a man from Seattle who self-described himself as a liberal and a Nordic man. He went on to say that the UUA's definition of white supremacy culture was what he considered simply good Yankee values. He asked the audience to consider that if the proposed changes to Article 2 are enacted, what other Yankee values might we be forced to give up? His remarks definitely elicited a response, and there were audible boos as he finished up his statement. His statement and those of other dissenters demonstrated to me that even within our UU communities, we must continue to do the work educating our members and listening to people's experiences who have been either overtly or subtly excluded from our larger conversation over many decades. I came away from GA with an appreciation for the time and commitment that attendees make to the democratic process. Is it an entirely enjoyable experience being present at several days of in-depth discussion and debate? No, not always. At times, the democratic ruminations feel like a less exciting C-SPAN hearing. Yet, it is vital to show up, be present, and to participate, as in any democracy. If the political events of the past few years have taught us anything, it is that democracy and our democratic principles are under attack in the United States and around the world. It is up to each of us to ensure that we preserve these traditions for our children and future generations of UUs to come.